Many people struggle with failing to succeed, especially in our culture where everything is so driven on achievement and success and, the size of your bank account. But in truth, I think we really misunderstand what success really is. Our understanding of failing to succeed comes in this idea that you're unable to complete a task or reach a goal or make some accomplishment a reality. But I think there's something more to it than that. I want to completely redefine what it means to fail to succeed, but we're going to get to that at the end of the video. Right now, we need to talk about a few things first. I'd like to start with where my own journey has been over the last couple of years, and including this YouTube channel. I started this YouTube channel a few years ago and really never got the traction that I wanted with it. So I set it aside. Life started happening and I had some stuff going on in my life. So I set it aside. Then about a year ago, I picked it back up again and really set it upon myself that I was going to create 30 videos in 30 days. And in that time I accomplished it. I was able to reach that goal of creating 30 videos in 30 days, but I didn't have the response that I hoped, right? I didn't get a ton of followers or subscribers. I didn't get a lot of likes for it. I was posting it on every version of social media you can think of, and I really just wasn't getting the traction that I had hoped for. And it was a little disheartening. In a lot of ways, I thought that somehow I had failed, that either I wasn't natural enough on the camera, that I wasn't good at speaking to people and sharing my faith with them, that there was something inherently wrong with me that was causing me to fail. And so what did I do? I quit. I stopped making videos and I put it off to the side, and it's something that I've struggled with since then. Whether or not I should be continuing to make videos, because I really enjoy doing it. I love the process of making videos. I love sharing my faith. But then once you make it, there's this draw to try to pull you in to convince you that you need to go in there and look at the analytics. How many people have watched your video? How many people have subscribed? How long are they watching the video for? And you get tied up in all this stuff, and then you're so worried about the feedback and the response that you're getting that you're not really thinking about the reason why you made the video in the first place, which is just hoping that you've touched somebody, that you've made a difference in somebody's life. And that doesn't matter whether it's one person or 100, but it's still hard when you spend hours. And let me tell you, it takes hours sometimes to make these videos, that I might spend an hour or two just filming. And then once you do that, I'm not very good at this. I'm still pretty new to it. So I might spend 3-4 hours. I might spend 6 or 8 hours on an 8 or 10 minute video just to get it ready to publish. Now, probably that's a lot on me and my lack of ability in learning this new software, but I'm an IT guy. So this stuff kind of comes naturally to me. So it's kind of surprising, but the reality is that I was too focused on the results and not really just enjoying the process. I wasn't really focused on the things that made me want to start doing it in the first place, which was trying to help you through this same struggle. That when you're going through challenges and, have issues in your life, how do we overcome that? How do we find God's will for our lives? And if I feel that God is calling me to create these videos, then why did I give up so easy? And so as I diverted attention away from creating YouTube videos, I decided to pursue one of my other passions, which is spiritual direction. And it's through this process that I learned an important lesson. One part of this is, trying to get new people involved in the process, meeting new clients or people to sit down with me, where we go through once a month or twice a month and sit down and talk about their spiritual lives. And I thought, okay, well, maybe God's not calling me to be the next great YouTube guy. So let me go ahead and really focus on something that I know that I'm good at, which is working with people and helping them develop and grow their faith. And so I made it my mission. I put a whole bunch of effort and resources into trying to reach out to people and trying to get to know people. I hosted a retreat at my church and was involved with that for, about 9 months of the year, and really put a lot of time into it. And when all was said and done, I got one new person that wanted to sit down and start working with me. And I've been working with a handful of people for the last few years, but I guess I really expected more. I mean, I put hours worth of effort into it. I even put many, many dollars behind it, trying to put out advertisements and things in my church bulletin, trying to just get the word out there that I was offering this to people. I was kind of upset and felt a little bit rejected that I wasn't getting the traction that I hoped. But God had brought me one person. And I said, okay, if I've got that one person, I'm going to put all the effort I can into that relationship and make sure that I can do the best job I can in spiritual direction with him. And over the last 9 months, I've seen just this amazing growth in this new directee that I had. These great changes that have come from his life. So I didn't add 20 new directees, but I added one amazing one. And if he's watching this video right now, he probably knows who he is. But I've seen this growth and change in him, which has been fantastic. And he was somebody that already had his life together and his spiritual life was strong and that he was kind of heading down the right path. And he really was just, trying to take the next step. I've been amazed at the steps that he's taken since then, though, that I'm just wowed by the work that the Holy Spirit has done in his life. And so what that taught me about this process of whether or not you fail or succeed is that sometimes we fail because we have our definitions wrong. We fail because we have different expectations of what success and failure are. That maybe it was God's plan all along, not for me to reach 100 people or even 20 people. He just wanted me to help one person get to where they needed to go. And now that I've been able to accept that, I don't see those other challenges that I've faced as failures. That I've been able to redefine what failure means. And we're going to get to that in a second, but I want to give another story. It kind of reminds me of this movie. It's a Disney movie that you probably haven't seen, actually, right? Disney movies are obviously the big thing right now, and you can go on Disney Plus and watch most of them. And there's a movie that came out within the last 20 years or so that I think is one of my favorite Disney movies ever. I'm not going to tell you the title yet. Stick around and tell me if you know what it is down in the comments. So there's an orphan boy, and he meets this other boy who has a time machine, who needs help fixing the time machine. So he gets this character, Lewis, who's really smart, and he brings him back with him to the future because he says, I need your help. And so while Lewis is there, he gets to meet this other boy's family, and they're all inventors. Every last one of them is an inventor, and they have all these great new ideas that they keep coming up with. And this comes from the boy's father, who's also an inventor. And at one point, they're all sitting around for family dinner, and Lewis breaks out this invention that he had created, actually, which is for a peanut butter and jelly gun to make your peanut butter and jelly sandwiches extra fast. And in the process, the peanut butter and jelly explodes everywhere and covers the entire family. And you would think that the adults at the table would have been upset, but instead, everyone started cheering for him. They were happy for his failure. They applauded his struggles and the peanut butter and jelly getting all over him. And this threw him for a loop because he didn't understand it. In this society where we live, where everything is about success and achievement, here's this family that was applauding his failure. And the big line that came from that was keep moving forward. And the whole basis of this movie is built on that idea of keep moving forward, which comes from this Walt Disney quote that states, around here, however, we don't look backwards for very long. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors and doing new things. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. And so when you look at the life of Walt Disney, you see somebody that was constantly inventing new things. The whole idea of Disneyland and Disney World, the amazing things that were created there from the mind of that man, because he was willing to try new things. But I guarantee you along the way, as every inventor will tell you, that he failed many times, that many of the things that he created failed over and over and over again. And hey, look at the movies they've been coming out with, Star Wars and Disney and the Marvel movies. One makes $1 billion and the next one tanks because they're willing to take that chance. That failure is an okay part of the process. You don't have the $1 billion movie without having 2 or 3 of those really crappy ones. And that we wouldn't have the movies we do today if people weren't pushing those bounds the way Walt Disney had pushed them to. And so what we learn from this that's super important is that failure is a part of the process. There's a key to overcoming that failure that we're going to talk about in a minute. But first, when it comes to God's will for your life and understanding failure, understand that God knows that you're going to fail. God knows that there's going to be times that you're not going to live up to whatever standards you've set for yourself. But he's okay with that because failing is just one step in the process. And that if we redefine failing to succeed is not a one-time event where you fail and then it's over. The only time where failure becomes permanent is when you quit. When I quit this YouTube channel a year ago, that was making a permanent failure. But even that doesn't have to be permanent, because here I am again today trying to create a video. Failure is not the end. It's just another step in the process. It's an opportunity for growth, an opportunity for you to better understand how to accomplish God's will for your life. And you can only do that if you take those chances in your life to make that happen. But if you never take the chance, if you're so afraid to fail, then you'll never reach where God is really trying to lead you in your life. The reality is that we're focused on the results, but God doesn't care about the results. He cares about the act. He cares about your intention behind that act. He cares about the effort that you put in to try to reach that goal, knowing that you may not have the skills or the tools you need right now in order to make that happen. And more importantly, you may not have the knowledge you need, or you may have certain things that you're struggling with. But that's where the failure comes in, because the failure is going to allow you that opportunity to grow and to learn from what just happened. Most of the growth that we have in our life doesn't come from books, doesn't come from the things you read, or even what you spent in 12 years of elementary education. That most of the things that you know that help you succeed in life come from the lessons you've learned, mostly from your failures, and a little bit from your successes too, I guess. But think of your life with your successes. We're in this achievement, success focused society, yet we spend very little time really thinking about our successes. We gain our successes and then we quickly move on to the next thing. But our failures stick with us. But that's okay. As long as you don't allow that failure to stick with you in a way where the sadness of it and the emotions of it draw you down to where you feel like you can't move forward again. The whole point of allowing those failures to stick with you is so that you learn the most with them. So you need to stay with the failures long enough to learn from it, but then you need to keep moving forward. But now's where we reflect back to that movie. Here's the key to being able to move forward. When his peanut butter and jelly gun first exploded all over himself, he was upset with himself and he was sad. And he felt like he was a failure. But he had the right people around him to lift him up, to convince him to keep moving forward, and that his failure was a part of the next success that he was going to have. And that he'd be able to figure out what was going wrong with that peanut butter and jelly gun and have it working perfectly the next time. And so if you want to have success in your life, you need to surround yourself with the right people. You don't want to surround yourself with the people that focus on your failures and tell you what you can and can't accomplish based on it. You want to find the people that see you in your failures and lift you up and continue to encourage you towards making that next success. That success is right around the corner, that you're going to be able to find God's will for your life and be able to achieve it only by sticking through your failures, only by continuing to go even when it gets difficult. And that's where you need to find the right friends, the right priest or pastor, the right spiritual director. And hey, go to directionalfaith.com if you want some help. That if you find the right people that are going to encourage you and help you strive through these difficulties, you'll be amazed at what you're going to be able to accomplish. The only thing left then, in order to overcome failure and find the success or find the ability to find God's will for your life, is knowing what God's will for your life is. And if you want to know what that is, I've got a bunch of videos on that already. So go ahead and click right here and you'll learn a little bit more about that. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.